Thank you so much for joining me, Ann. I'm really excited to have you here and to be chatting about our upcoming Day with the Masters for ICF Calgary chapter.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to come.
Yeah, so we're really excited to have you and especially excited about the topic that you'll be presenting on. Our membership has really been interested in the neuroscience. So can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect from that day? What will you be covering?
Well, I'm really excited to come to Calgary. It's a beautiful part of the world, and to have a full day is kind of a luxury. So I'm super, because we can go really deep. So we're going to look at the neuroscience of the ICF competencies, and then we're going to particularly look at, we're going to dig in and get our hands around some strategies for working with your clients under stress, because it's a real common challenge in individual lives and in organizational lives, and it has a real strong impact on the brain. So that's kind of the big picture. And what I love about looking at the ICF competencies is it so validates us as coaches. Because the ICF competencies were not written by neuroscientists. They're written by experienced, thoughtful, amazing coaches who really have a sense of what works in our profession. And so a lot of what I'm doing is retrofitting. I'm going to see, well, can we make a legitimate argument for this? And so I think that people will get from that chunk of the day a real sense of validation, like, man, we are rock stars. And there's some really strong reasons in the brain why that is. And then the language, I want to be sure to give people the absolute practical language of how you explain that. So maybe you can get into, organizations or in with individuals where you haven't been able to get in because you've got some really sexy language around what we're doing in coaching and how that helps with the brain. So that'll be kind of the first chunk of what we're doing.
Excellent. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds very valuable. So what I'm hearing from that then is there'll be a lot of, research and evidence-based information that ties with the competencies, and people should expect to walk away with being able to make a more informed kind of argument about why neuroscience pairs with coaching and the outcomes that are so important as a coach.
Absolutely. And I think also as part of that, sort of the big picture of being able to say, hey, this is why coaching is so valuable for you or for your organization and really impactful and the best things we can possibly do for changing the brain and working with people. The other piece is that there are particular things in the competencies and in our profession that sometimes I have heard coaches apologize for. Like, this might be a little woo-woo or, be a little hesitant around it. And so there's going to be a chunk of this, which is why you don't need to apologize for anything.
Excellent.
There's going to be some kind of reason why it works. And I want to give you a bit of that as well. So that you can, with confidence, say, stand up, show me what that looks like, or tell me where that feels in your body, or tell me what a metaphor is with that, and do it with a lot of confidence, knowing that it's doing a very powerful and positive thing in the brain. So
that's so exciting, Ann. I can't wait.
Thank you. And then the second half of the day, or the second chunk of the day, as I said before, we're going to really look at the really powerful impact of stress on the brain, both in terms of when we have way too much and too much on our plate and all of that, and how that may compromise some of our capacity in our brain and how you recover from that. But also this piece about what actually happens when we don't have enough stress. When we're not stimulated enough, when we're slogging through life, or there's nothing we're looking forward to, or nothing we're challenged by, and what's the impact there on the brain, and what do you do with people when your clients are kind of phoning it in, and why does that actually honestly make you a little stupider? So we'll look at that, and there'll be a couple of, during the whole day, there's going to be a couple of really powerful tools that I love and have used again and again with my clients, that on Monday morning you can be people will be ready to go. And I'm not even saying, pull out the sheet of paper and do it, but we're going to practice. There's going to be a chance for questions and feedback. And so you should just be ready to go use this stuff with your clients and hopefully have it in your bones.
Fantastic. That sounds like it's going to be really useful for coaches to use with their clients, and also to get maybe some information about themselves. And when they're working with some of those high profile executive clients, maybe what's going on in their own, how they can manage their own process.
I think that's a really good point too, because we're going to do it inside out. So we'll do it not role playing, but really do it, working with ourselves. So I think that's a really, really good point.
Excellent. And we're so looking forward to seeing you. Is there anything that you want to share with our group here in Calgary, what you're looking forward to before we see you in October?
I love working with coaches, and I'm a Western girl. I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So there is something just about, I think, the openness and kind of, I don't know, I'm generalizing, but like pioneer spirit. And I love the West, and I love people of the West. And so I'm just, I love working with coaches in general, but I think there's something about this, wide open spaces, wide open possibility. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to being there geographically and meeting and seeing what people are like there.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to share with us?
I think the only other thing that I want to let people know is sometimes they hear neuroscience and they think, oh my God, am I going to have to keep my eyes open? And is it PowerPoint? And I use PowerPoint very judiciously, because what I know works for learning is getting our full bodies into it, and our beings into it, and having a chance to talk and think about it ourselves. And so everything's going to be really experiential and hopefully fun, because I think humor relaxes the brain and makes it easier to learn. And so I think that's the other thing I'm looking forward to, is just a really fun day.
Awesome. Well, I've had a fun time chatting with you today, and I can't wait to see you in the fall. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Larissa.
Okay.